Now, I'm going to explain you a second way to make games. Now, this is pretty new, at least in the game industry. It's about 3 to 4 years old, but it went really big, and I've used it myself, and I still use it. It's called reskinning. Now, what is reskinning? All right, so reskinning is some people don't like reskinning, and you're gonna understand why. Because it's kind of a fake way to make games. Let me tell you what I mean by fake way. You actually will not create the code of the game or the Unity project. You will buy a Unity project that's already made for you. Now, there's hundreds and thousands of these projects. So somebody or multiple people may have already created games just like Angry Birds. So why recreate a game like Angry Birds from scratch if somebody already made the project in Unity? You would buy the project from them, change the graphics, the sounds, add your own levels, and add your little flavor to the game. Maybe it doesn't have to be birds. It could be dinosaurs. It could be dogs, right? It could be angry dogs. And then once you change all this and the theme, you can publish it in the stores and make it your own game. Now, this is a great process because it saves you a lot of time. You don't have to work to write all these different mechanics and behaviors. You just had to create the graphics, or you can even buy the graphics and then go through this reskinning process. So you guys understand the reskinning process? Now, the reskinning process is nothing new. It's been there for hundreds and if not thousands of years already. For example, if you go in any stores, any supermarket stores, and you go and look at the sodas, okay? So go look at the soda cans. You will see a Pepsi one and you will see a Coca-Cola one. They're competitors. It's like games. They're the same games. They taste quite similar. I mean, you can definitely recognize a Coke from an orange juice, right? Or from a grape juice. So they have a very specific taste. You can say, okay, this is a Coca-Cola or this is a Pepsi. But still, Coca-Cola and Pepsi are very similar, right? So same thing with, let's say, Fanta and Orangina or Sprite and Sierra Mist, right? They're very similar. So this is kind of reskinning. This is kind of the reskinning process. Now, you don't have to reskin somebody else's project. You can reskin your own Unity project. What do I mean by this? Just take Coca-Cola. They have the regular Coca-Cola, and then they reskin it to Diet Coke. So it's still Coca-Cola, it still has the same taste, but still it has a different flavor. Now you can even go one step further. You have a vanilla Coke, you have a cherry Coke. So all of these are reskins of the regular Coke because they know that Coke works. So why go too crazy and try to find new products? Just create some variations of it. And that's the same with the reskinning process. When you know that a game like Angry Bird or Flappy Bird or Candy Crush works, then why are you going to try to create a game that's totally different? Do something that's similar and add your own flavor to it. That's what reskinning is all about. Now, earlier I was telling you that there's something that we don't like about reskinning. There's a bitter taste about reskinning because many people create games because they want to do something unique and original. And when you're doing reskinning, it's not as original or as unique as what it would be if you create a game from scratch. Now, you can make it in a way that is unique enough because you can tweak the mechanics, but it's not totally unique. It still has some flavors of other games. Now, some of you may already be thinking smarter and be like ahead of the curve and say, wait, it doesn't matter because no game is made from scratch. And they're right. Everybody takes ideas from other games, and you are absolutely right. Take any games out there, and I can assure you, there has to be at least a dozen other games that are very similar, whether they were made last year or 30 years ago or even 50 years ago. Some of the games were not video games. They were actual physical board games or physical games from the physical world that got translated into video games. So remember, nothing really comes from scratch. So don't think that reskinning is evil. And some people do think so and don't like to do reskinning. But at the end of the day, remember, you want to make money and you want people to have fun. So as long as people that play your games are having fun and they're getting entertained and that you make money from it, then you're up to a good start. And nothing can stop you to use the money that you're making from reskilling and use it to make your very own games that you're gonna go all out with your very own thinking. Now again, I've tried both ways, the regular good old game development way and the reskilling way, and they both have advantages, pros and cons. I personally think that you need to mix both of them. You need to have at least try to make games just like the pros out there. You need to understand how these things works and the mechanics to make a business out of it. Otherwise, you're in for a hard time. All right. So again, two different ways: reskilling way and the good old game development way.